members, they have laws as to define what is useful for humanity. So what I mean is that all of a sudden, you can't rob an old lady on the street, take her handbag, because there's no money in it. You know, you'd have to take her fucking eyes out to biometric scan it when she buys shit or whatever, right? So you can't rob people, right? You suddenly you can go to Africa and help them build waterways and whatnot and housing, and because you did that, you come back to your country and you go to the government work office and you say, look, here's my documentation. I went to Africa for 2 years. I'm back. I'd like to level up to a number 35, please. And they'd say, okay, well, that all checks out. We've looked into your documents. They've been verified through the processes we have to do. And we are going to grant you level 35. So now you move into a nicer housing with nicer car, right? It creates demand. So you have a builder, right? So the builder, now there's a demand for a builder. And, you know, that builder comes and him and his company and his friends build a house, his, you know, whatever building company builds a house. And then he goes into the office and says, look, I've built 15 houses in the last 2 years with the company I'm working for. They've all signed off on it. It complies with your requirements to satisfy. It's verified. And he checks and, you know, does checks and they look into it. It's your caseworker. And they verify it and they grant you a level up. And you know what? The next day he gets a toothache. Oh, whoa. So he gets a toothache the next day, right? He goes into the dentist, and the dentist fixes his teeth with the top quality stuff. You know, no one talks about how much it costs. He's a guy, he's a citizen, he needs his teeth done, okay? And it's not for cosmetic purposes, it's for actual pain or whatever. So then the dentist applies for a level up, and he wants a nicer car. He's opted for the car package where he gets the car upgraded, right? So then Toyota now has a job to do. And the whole thing works like today's money system. It goes round and round and round. But instead of spiraling downward with inflation and all these things, instead of making someone $100 billion, they just get to a level 100 and that's it.
It's
right?
It's like being in Rapture.
I don't know. What's
Rapture
that?
From VRChat. The way it was supposed
you
to work
work
is you
to get a good living.
You made your living.
Well, it's what we do
by
today.
working.
It's just that.
No, but there was no god or kings. There was only man. And you,
What
and
do you want
was
about
your
me?
wage.
Yeah, it's exactly like. Well, I'm going to say exactly like that because that has like a fucking big dictator or whatever, right? But you get the idea. You work.
I mean, it's mostly run by the rich.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, though. There is no rich in this system because the people who are at the top are only at the top because they have done something that is legislatively deemed as good for humanity. You can't fuck the system.
You can, because like for people that fail, they will actually have the how can I explain it?
It's Rick.
You'll level down. You'll down level. If you do nothing, if you just start to do nothing with your life, every year you'll slowly get worse and worse. You know?
But then, like, what would make you a bad person, though? So it's like, you got that one guy that's still, like, or for like people that actually are disabled, for example, that can't do anything. How would
What's the same as today? They get a baseline. They get a baseline lifestyle,
basic living,
which is what you have today. You have a benefit today. You have the social whatever, right? What do you call it in America? Social security thing, whatever. So you get all those things. It's just the same. It's the same as today. So you replicate today's world in terms of value and lifestyle for effort put in. Yeah, a doctor gets more than a street sweeper. You know, he's done the years. But the thing is, what suddenly becomes like school is free. You just go to the school and you say, look, I'm someone worth I've done this and this in terms of my learning, and I'm someone worth investing in education, and you have a system where it's all free. You walk into a shop, right, and everything is fucking free. Okay, and that shop owner and the drink suppliers and everybody, it's all RFID tagged, and it's tagged to how many sales they made, and it's all on blockchain, so you can't fuck the system, and you swipe your card or do your retina scanner or whatever you do, key in your fucking number or whatever
security
and
measure.
Yeah, and then you it's all cryptographic and it can't be screwed by anybody. You've got a copy of the ledger at home on your laptop, right? Like, and what you end up with is the system where everything's free. Now, I can't walk into a high-end shop and buy a Versace suit. Okay,
Why not?
because I am a level 25, and those stores are only accessible to people who are level 30 whatever. And if you don't like it, fucking work and level up. And what happens is instead of there's no such thing as a bad economy, because when I come back from helping people in Africa, I've got to turn off some microphone here.
Yeah.
So when I come back from Africa, I'm just going to turn this shit. What's his name?
It's Nubu.
No.
So I'm assuming we eat people now.
So when I come back from Africa, I've helped another country. It's not even my own country, but I've created a demand when I get home. When I get home from the new space station or the Mars colony that we made without spending $1 and just used elbow grease, we get rewarded, and that creates demand, and that creates economy. You see, it's an upward spiral. It's a positive spiral. Every time, providing something doesn't cost the economy, it boosts it.
Yeah, so then, like, what if you decide to, like, you got thefts, or, like, just horrible people, because, you see it in today's society.
Well, okay, they go to jail, and and not only, maybe they don't even have to go to jail, but maybe they can get a downgrade on their level,
Depending on how severe it was.
the crime was. Yeah. I mean, obviously, high crimes like murder, fucking, you're a danger to people, you've got to go to jail. But if you go and try to, you just, I don't know, you stole a car or something, or you punch someone or whatever, or drugs or something that's not really a huge problem, you just get leveled down.
But then how do you get the level back up if you're like in prison?
You just got to work twice as hard then if you want to get back up.
Yeah, and you have a rehabilitation center to teach them those things and help them back up, and people get rewarded for that. And then you need to fulfill that need. They need a house, now you need builders. They want to go to the cinema, now you need cinemas. Round and round and round it goes.
But how are you going to get out of prison though? If you're in prison and you're at the lowest of lows, you're the most scummiest person. You're
like a level out of high school level. You're level 10, and you're in jail.
Yeah. But like they won't let you do anything to like help people to get out of jail after you realize you fucked up, because you are deemed unsafe. How are you going to get out of there?
Time.
Well, you do your time. That's what I mean. When I tell someone about the system, they will think of things that are a problem with it. But then you look at it, and the problem is already a problem today, but we live with it. This is not a perfect system. And like I said, that situation, we already deal with that. People just stay in jail.
Okay. And I'm not saying like that system's a problem, because I know there's systems that are already a big problem. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it, to say the least.
We're just going by a level up system. That's about it.
Yeah.
Instead of using anything else for money.
Yeah. I mean, we right now we're profiting from destroying the environment, right?
Yeah, give me a second on that.
What's his name?
Paddle left hand spell it to it.
If you just
Panda Little Hands?
skip in and press escape and go to social, he's just a robot.
It's the first one, practically.
Now he's already at the mirrors, so he's not doing anything.
Panda Little Hands.
I think you're so cute, Marcellus.
That's real. So
Wish I had a girlfriend like that.
I just kind of came in late. This is an idea for a game or whatever you had.
Oh no, this is an idea for the way society should run. I mean, it's really if we were in this round seating arrangement, if we were the people who were going to design the new world, we would be able to do a better job with this simple system. Now, here comes the problem. Okay, I've thought about all the problems with it, and most of them can be remedied with the same we do today, you know. But the thing is, what you're doing is you're removing corruption. How can you corrupt a system that only rewards you for complying with things that are designated as good for humanity? How can you destroy an environment and get rewarded? You can't, right? So like BP with that golf thing, immediately they'd lose fucking way. Their company level system would dial way back.
The reputation goes down as well.
Yeah, and they get less contracts and whatever. And I don't know. The business side of it needs work. I think to make it so that the business has a level system. But perhaps the idea of maybe the idea of the business
is money. Money is literally the reason everything. Like the government don't care about people. The only thing they care about is like, you know.
Oh no, but he's saying like in this system there is no money. He said.
Yeah,
it's the moneyless system. It's kind of like, imagine what it would be like on a ship going through space 10,000 years in the future, and it's totally separate from Earth or whatever. They aren't going to have money and an economy to tank. They're going to be a military-style thing with a rank, right?
Pretty much.
That's the way we should be. We should be ranked like army ants, but not military, just daily life. You know?
Right, so it's like,
every
rank you go up, you get better equipment. Like
a video game.
You could be a private. You would get.
Excuse me. I have kertomustarinasta to tell
you. If you're a private, you would get your standard M16 and maybe a sidearm and your standard equipment. That's it. But if you're like, say like
a general, you get a whole battalion at your disposal.
And you're not in the front lines.
You get your customized M16. You get your customized sidearm, and you get your customized gear.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to carry as much weight, and you wouldn't have to be as encumbered.
Yeah, and the whole thing actually works. Now, the problem is, how would you? I mean, assuming that the powers of this world, the Rothschilds and shit, assuming they would actually allow it to take place, or if they just died, or if we had a revolution and got rid of them all, right? Or if Bitcoin just fucking destroyed them all, right? Then the problem would be how to transition in a global economy into something like that. So what you would do is you would have, like, every country would donate 5% of their land mass to the system. And every 2 years, another 5% would be donated. And over a period of, 40 years, the whole world would become this system. So this first 5%, you're creating a new country. It's not America, it's not England, it's not Zimbabwe, okay? It's a collective country spread across the planet. In a sense, you're decentralizing nationality.
Essentially, it's true unity.
What about the people that rebel, though?
Essentially, it's true unity. You're unifying everyone.
People who don't want it. Well, this is it.
Yeah.
Part of the transition is the tricky part. The trickiest part is that. But what this enables, if you can pull it off, what this enables us to do is that we could travel to put, right now, why can't you put a colony on Mars? Now, Bill Gates alone could fund a whole fucking colony on Mars. A trip to Mars, the spaceships, the whole fucking thing could be funded by Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. They could just sit up
easily
and say, fuck business, fuck everything. We're going to take the money we have. We're going to sell Microsoft for $400 billion or whatever the fuck it's worth. Because that money Bill Gates has got, that's just his bank. Actual Microsoft is worth a lot more, right? And so a group of the elite get together and sell their shit and say, right, we're going to put something on Mars. But the problem is they get no fucking profit, right? But with a merit-based system, they can just put it out on the TV. Look, anyone who's got engineering skills, we need you. With a moneyless society, people just put their hand up and say, I'm in. I've got, I can pilot a plane. Maybe you can teach me to fly a shuttle or whatever. And, people can put up their hand and do it. And then years later, they're looked after during the time they're doing it. And when they get home, they're boosting our economy. And in fact, instead of a space station that circles Earth with a seed from every plant and every copy of every bit of DNA ready to replenish the Earth in case of an asteroid hit, an ark. We should be building a fucking ark, right? Why are we not building an ark?
The thing is, though, I just don't
our
understand.
system makes a profit from doing so.
Because if you got, like you said about the transitioning from from A to B, it's the fact, you said about the levels, so different ranks, so on and so forth. How would people get their rank, if you know what I mean? What would make them, at the top, or what would put them at the bottom?
By demonstrating that they have done anything that's good for humanity, and all the things that are deemed good for humanity are, done in a debating chamber. They are reached a conclusion that yes, doctors are good. Which doctors are best. Which ones are more valuable, and this is a constantly floating economy
So basically, depending on how much
changing all the
skill
time.
and how qualified you are, the further you'd go up, basically, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, pretty much, or whatever service you provide.
So
Humanitarian efforts can now be rewarded
if you were to go
and
to
profited from.
Africa right now,
That's
under
kind
this-
of
under this merit
my
system,
work roles,
you
but
go to Africa
it's
and
just
help
over
people
years.
build houses and irrigation systems.
Yeah, it takes
Like
time.
as of right now, I actually am level 2. I'm about to become level 3.
Yeah, but it's universal. Go ahead, Marcellus.
Basically, what I said was, if you were to go to Africa right now and help people build houses and irrigation systems, you would be able to rank up by coming back to your home country, and then, well, it wouldn't be a home country, but it would be like your hometown, like the area you were born at. You would go to a specific office and you would get your rank up.
Yeah, you'd rank up.
And then the people who helped you with that would get their rank up. And then the
Yeah,
people
and then they
and then
help them.
then you would create both create
Do you
demand
see
for other
how-
people to get their rank up.
Do you see how something like helping people in Africa or building a space station or going to Mars, suddenly it creates fucking economy. Instead of it costing money, it creates growth.
So literally all you
It's-
need is just a domino effect.
Yeah, and once it goes out of control, everyone is employed. The human race is operating at maximum capacity, right? And then it becomes a matter of how fast can we rip up minerals from the ground and build shit. And then we become a spacefaring race, and we take the same model to other planets.
It's like Dubai. I think it's Dubai. It's like if you look at their growth from one year to the other, they've grown so massively. But it's all because of just like I can't remember what it was exactly.
Coming,
But
like oil and that.
it's just insane when you think about it, though.
Yeah.
But it's just
But you see how there's no limit to the growth is how much elbow grease people can actually put in a day. And eventually humans will be operating at maximum capacity, and then we'll start building robots from this system. Right now, imagine this, right? For someone to build robots and put them in your house right now, like, what is it? What's that big fucking Boston Dynamics and whatnot, right? Yeah, you got that big dog, and you got that, what's that biped robot they've got now that they're playing with. But what I'm saying is, you can then, once you've got people operating at maximum capacity in the world, it's the exponential rise of demand and then rewarding them. What you end what you end up with is you get, the point where right now, building robots is really fucking hard to do, and it costs a fuckload of money. And what's the problem? There's not, other than sort of maybe manufacturing and engineering robots, there's not much in terms of profit to be made, because you're getting, and sex robots maybe, getting them into people's homes and people spending $50,000 on a robot is just not something people are going to do, right? Something that's outdated in 6 months, like a cell phone, So that kind of you have to build an infrastructure, and by having this thing spiraling out of control in a positive way, going up, is that we get this infrastructure really, really quickly, and suddenly it's like you don't even have to buy the robot. They're just giving you the fucking robot. They're mass producing the robots and putting them in your house and saying, "Here, it's a free robot. Take it. Take it."
was born.
Yeah.
It's like going to a college and them paying you to learn what they're teaching you. And you don't have to
that's
pay
it.
for
You will
books or
go to
anything,
college.
shit like that.
Yeah, and you just go to college. You're like, oh, fuck, some poor person wants to be a productive member of society. They want to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, and they just go to fucking school. And the school is like, look, we educated, the school CEO, and that goes to the office and says, look, we educated 564 people this year. We'd like to apply for a level up. And they're like, oh, great. Let's look at your stats. And it's all verified. And then they say, right, you've leveled up. You've got a high rank. So the school you work for, as a faculty member, you have a high rank. So the school you work for gets more allocation of resources, right? And then say you're a valuable principal of a big school, and then you go to another school because you have a fallout with your boss and you want a job at another school, right? So you go to that other school and you're a valuable headmaster, CEO of the school, level 37, and so you've got, like, they want you to come to that school because you've shown that you're good in the past, you've leveled up through the school, and now by having you, they get the resource allocation.
So
That's how the businesses grow, through the people who run them. So you take your business where you...
bias.
Huh?
Basically, in this system, personal bias is dealt with. Like, nobody looks at personal bias when they're hiring
What do you mean
somebody.
personal? Oh, yeah,
Because,
you
like,
want to hire
you
on
say you
level.
have
Be back in a second.
You have a fallout with your boss. you're not going to look at that conversation with your boss. They're going to look at how high you are on the level-based system.
Yeah, yeah.
I want your opinion on it.
Okay. Now higher, lower level people, and those people grow through the system. It's not hard. The problem is that we've got guys in suits who are fucking things
Tell
up.
you what you can and can't do.
Faceless
basically.
men in suits.
Got like Tom Hanks and Bill Gates and freaking Steve Jobs up there.
I don't know how to edit in.
Yeah.
It's
You know
not
what?
more
Somebody
people than
once
money.
argued with me about this on Facebook, and one of the points they made, which was quite interesting, is how do you value things like art,
Yeah, the very first folder when you open
right?
it, just drop it in.
How do you value
Creating
art?
Option on.
Art like paintings and
It's
and
mainly by the
movies and video games.
historical
Like,
meaning it has most of the time.
you're contributing to entertainment.
So that'd be added to your.
Yeah, but how do they?
Contributing to
my
entertainment, which is
simple
good for the
answer.
mental state of humanity.
To every,
Yeah, it is. And at the same time, you know, my answer to this guy saying, "Well, how do you value abstract things like art?" was that you just see how many people click like on it, or how many people watch the movie, or how many people play the game.
Keep them in there, like.
So
Or
then,
you look at the
you know,
reviews, so like how well people review the game or the movie or the art.
material, it stays on the material.
Like,
but remember,
is
there'll
it
be
negative?
corruption.
To a different shader.
People are going to try to upgrade their friends' stuff, right?
Basically, buy them,
Just to say,
by their friends.
But-
That's what describe it.
Yeah, they'll help. There'll be friends helping their friends, and you'll end up with like a white man economy like it is today. So it's actually not that. Even if that does happen, it's still not that bad. It's still better than it is today.
I save it, and then
And when that does happen,
that scene back up.
you know, everything is sort of like recorded on a ledger, on the blockchain and stuff, and it's much more viewable by everyone. You know, what other connections does this person have with this person, and why did they give them the job? Oh, it's because they went to high school together. And it's on the blockchain, and it's all recorded.
It's like, I can't remember which country it is. It's like Japan or China. It's one of the two. It's like they do have quite a good infrastructure, because like you go to their schools, they don't have janitors. They clean it themselves. So, you know, it teaches them responsibility. They feed each other. Like, obviously, to get people to cook the food, but they serve each other. It's like, the older you are, the more respect you should get.
And all that.
Or it's if you're hardworking,
Put it back in T-pose. So
you have, you know, you can get around. The thing is, though, if you don't put much in, it's just one of those things. But even though they have all that, they still have their problems. Like,
to each other.
what was it? I can't remember the name of the actual forest, but like, you know, the
but
suicide
then
forest. Like,
at the same time, they do, but they have less problems. You know, like you've got the police in Japan. They don't know what to do in their day.
Yeah.
so
They
I mean,
just ride around on bicycles and shit, and there's nothing for them to do because there's
Then
no
you look-
crimes.
Then you look at places like
yeah,
bloody
there's
America.
Where would people
Yeah.
with disabilities fall into your system?
The thing was kind of like.
Well, they would become a level, like what you come out of school and you're like a level 20 or 15 or whatever, right? They'd be on a base level from high school or whatever. But hang on, because they are in fact disabled
Your body.
and they have no option to climb up, even though they likely would.
Oh yeah, crap.
They're given the benefit of the doubt, and they're given a slightly higher level than someone who just chooses not to work.
Be able to do any help.
So wouldn't people just act disabled, or
But
insurance
No, but-
fraud would come into play, like a type of insurance
Ooh,
fraud?
It does. It does today. It does today. And I'm sure it would. Yeah, sure. People would want to rip off the
thing is,
system. Try
though,
to,
like,
and
it's like illnesses. The one problem with illnesses, like, you literally, we say anything can kill you. That's the problem. And you'll have these people, I know I'm a bit rude or anything, but you'll literally have these people who have turned around and be like, oh, I'm autistic, that's why I do this, oh, that's why I do that. But in fact, what they do is what any normal kid would do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
I'm autistic, and I'm more normal than most of these normies at my school. Like, holy shit!
There's no fix to that.
It's like, the thing is though, the problem with nowadays, everybody is based, they want to be somebody. But the problem is they either want to be, look at me, I'm like the most strongest, solid person out there, or I want to be Mrs. Popular.
Million
but
likes on Facebook.
Yeah, but to be that person, you either have to be, you know,
Tell for me.
like, the only problem nowadays is you have to be good looking to get anywhere. I know it sounds bad. Okay, some people aren't, you know, yeah. But the thing is that they get to where they get because they have the money.
No, what if you did?
It's just all these small little details. It's like if you go to, like, say you're at school.
People getting where they want because of the money and that. Yeah.
Never mind.
It's like, you're at school, you always have that one popular girl who will always be invited everywhere. Why? Because she's normally good looking. Or the second reason is because she's probably sucked every guy off in the fucking school. What doesn't surprise me. It's like, one thing I find wrong is kids nowadays, it's like, they find it important to lose their virginity earlier, like.
Yeah.
Fair enough, I lost mine when I was 17, 18. But that's because I wanted to, you know, find the right person. I'm not going to be like one of these people who's like, oh, look, there's a person to fuck, let's just fuck that person.
But
Or
they're 14 now. Yeah.
Like, do you see those at all?
They're
It's like-
14
Yeah, no.
now. It's,
Backbone them.
Everything's a choice. Everything's a choice.
Is that
Like, you think people in high school think, it's not a choice. You're like expected to do certain things, like lose your virginity at 17 and become pregnant at 17 or some shit like that. But it's not. It's not expected under this new system. It's just like you choose when and what you're gonna do.
yeah, and maybe you want to do nothing and have fuck all, and that's okay because the system is an upward spiral, and it will look after you because it has an upward non-stop sort of spiral in this system. But what you'll find is that most people don't want to sit on their ass poor and do nothing. They want to excel, you know. They want to actually become something and upgrade their life and get a bigger, better everything, right?
But nowadays,
It's
most of
like-
the problem is you're blocked, aren't you? Like, if you don't get good grades, you're fucked. You don't have the money to go to college or
I
university.
didn't get good grades, right? This is my thing. Like, I went to school to eat my lunch. Okay, I don't give a fuck about teachers. I don't give a fuck about authority. I didn't even know why I was at school. You know, I used to ask teachers, "Why do I have to go to school? I hate school," right? And they'd say, "'Cause you have to. Now get your ass in detention." You know, and no one
the thing,
actually
though.
inspired me, and that's what's wrong as well.
It's like my school years were shit because in between our GCSEs, they moved us from one school to another because they were going to merge them at one point. So obviously that just caused absolute chaos. But it's like, I thought, fuck it, you know, whatever. I went college. I did catering for about 3-4 years.
Your lips?
I work in a restaurant now.
I don't know if it's because I'm deaf.
But it's like,
Yeah.
It's like,
you know, obviously I'm lucky because I got that free. Obviously, I could either stayed on. But one thing I always find wrong when I was at college, I'm like one of these people who are like neutral to everybody. I don't really have a problem unless they physically create one with me for no reason.
Yeah. But people
I've seen
will
it.
do that.
Yeah.
Like, the longer I live, the more I realize that in general, outside discussions like this and you know, in the daily lives, people are fucking dicks, man. You know,
It's like
these
teachers.
underdevelopment things, like what you said. You said about being good looking and that, right? I've actually had being good looking has acted against me. You know, like I've had other airline pilots getting jealous about my awesome fucking holidays in Asia and parties and lots of girls and shit, and they hate me because they've got a fat wife at home and they're older and balding, and you know they hate me for being, you know, good, pretty good looking, and it can work against you as well, man. You know, it can.
Yeah.
But it's only because of people's psychological failing. You know, I make them feel bad about themselves. Fucking, I don't make them feel anything. They feel it.
So, yeah, just look at the state of the U.S. right now. I mean,
Because there's another one.
it's
You're going to get out of that sinking ship, you guys.
Yeah, I look at I live in New Jersey. I'm in the U.S. I look at the news every day, and it's fucking, you know, our president's all fucking golfing when natural disasters and shit are destroying 80% of a territory that he's supposed to care about. And, you know, people are, you know, Nazism is making a rise back, and, you know, people hate you if you're this color, people don't hate you if you're, you know, this. You can't say this, that, and the other thing without offending some, like, I just,
that's ridiculous.
some days I think to myself,
man,
I'm like, the UK or the Canada or whatever would be such a nicer place to live, but you guys are saying you have...
The thing is, though, like...
Well, we have it in New Zealand as well. We have a political correctness where you can't say that Maoris are generally fat-ass, fucking dole benefit bludging, you know, citizens that aren't doing anything for the economy. They're a blight on the system that the native people of New Zealand are. But you can't say that, you know.
I'm gonna
but there needs to be said, you know.
It's like with the UK, you'd be surprised. Like, like where I live, it's not the best of places, but from how it's been, like when I was young, it was fine. You know, people would be here, you could go there, you could do whatever the fuck you want. Now I'm 21. Like, near enough, every week, someone is being stabbed. Like, that's near me, like, you know, like a 2-minute walk away, and you think, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm going to move into the campsite over there. That portal just looks a little cooler to just sit around and chill there. Plus, I don't think there'll be, like, randoms coming over here ear raping the shit out of us when we're trying to have a discussion. You guys can stay here if you want or whatever. There's a portal right over there. It says campsite, so I'm going to head into it. It's like a forest campsite or whatever.
Should we go in there? Let's go in there.
Yeah.
Yay!
It works perfectly in uni, like when I'm doing it.
This is a better
I'm
idea.
moving my leg around right now. See how the climbers work. It works perfect.
Who's missing?
But long don't stretch it too far.
Who's missing? Come on, you guys. We're going in the other one.
1 second, my fucking remote's died on me, you bastard.
Oh. Yeah.
So I just had to plug it in.
Social. We're going this way. Forest